What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A World of Chaos. As you see, I am not alone today. This is getting to be a streak. We have Jay Tesla on with us. Jay Tesla, what is going on, brother?
It's an Undertaker streak, except, I don't bring drugs and knives to the backstage area. I bring video games.
Yo,
That
real quick, I know
bullshit.
it's going to be a sports episode. I know it's going to be more of a football episode, but it's still sports. But like that's...
That was so damn toxic. That was so unnecessary. It was not necessary. It was not needed whatsoever. I'm sorry your generation is
that
not.
Goes back to it being a toxic work environment back then, to where guys are bringing guns and knives into the locker room. Why? Like, why
No
is
one's
that
getting
a
too bad
healthy?
of money. So what the fuck are you talking? Like, okay, whatever. Let's talk about something.
You ain't Bill Watts. Like, you ain't gotta walk around with like a fucking pistol on your hip. You ain't gotta worry about Psycho Sid to stab you with some scissors and shit. But we're mainly
Nigga, you wearing church clothes? Like the
fuck? We are both taken by the crib. We are both natives of the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. 313, baby, all day. Our local football team is the Detroit Lions. If you want to call them a football team. No, I kid. I am not an active Lions fan anymore. I stopped that last year. I am now a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs.
So you're now in your second year of sobriety.
Yes, it is great to go from 3-12-1 season to a Super Bowl. That's a great thing to go from that to that. Speaking of Super Bowls, it has now just happened. It has ended. The Kansas City Chiefs are going versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl 50. My favorite player of the quarterback position of all time, Tom the GOAT Brady, is going versus Patrick Mahomes, the old GOAT versus the young GOAT. This is going to be a Super Bowl for the ages, man. And Andy Reid is my all-time favorite football coach because I did live in Philly for a couple of years, and I love Andy Reid.
Yeah.
But speaking of our local football team, it has now been officially reported. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford has given permission to the Lions front office that they can now pursue trade options for him. He is leaving the Detroit Lions after 12 seasons. The Lions also have now just confirmed their new head coach hiring of Dan Campbell, no relation. That's going to be fun. And they did also hire a new general manager, and they've also hired a former general manager in a front office role. Tesla, first, what do you think of the hiring of Dan Campbell as the new head coach of the Detroit Lions?
Okay, so let me actually pull up the hirings by when they happened. So I have them the way I saw them. Dan Campbell. I think the press conference, number one, got blown out of proportion. I think people are taking that one little sound bite and running with it and saying, "Oh, it's Detroit. God forbid they have the Lions fan have hope on this." My thought process with that is, had this been New Orleans, had this been Chicago, had this been New York, either one of the teams, or New England, or Miami, or LA, or Dallas, this would have been perfectly fine. This would have been rah-rah speech, great for the team, yada, yada, yada. But if it's Detroit, if it's Cleveland, if it's Kansas City 10 years ago,
Jacksonville,
it's seen as a hostile work environment. Despite the fact that no one, from what I could tell, has actually watched the entire press conference, which I perfectly love. I loved his press conference and how he said that we're not going to be a certain system kind of team. We're going to be a team that focuses on targeting your weaknesses, the same way they did in New Orleans. And New Orleans has done that for years, actually. I like the hire because while he has no coaching experience per se, he was seeing a lot of the New Orleans Saints players past, current, and ones that have been traded from the team have spoken nothing but high praise about the guy. They say he is a emotional leader, which is something we kind of need. And I know before I start
that real quick, that's one thing that kind of makes me apprehensive because They said the same thing about Jim Schwartz, and he'll
So,
soon let the inmates run the asylum.
so here's my thing regarding that. When Jim Schwartz was here, we were still in playoff contention. But my issue with people that are very against this move, especially the people that kind of work at 97.1, yes, because I think you all are toxic in every sports topic you do talk about. But having hope is not a bad thing. We don't know what this guy is, and we should not be poo-pooing him from the moment we got him. We shouldn't, because a new culture is always a new culture. I mean, if you look at what Patricia did when he was here, they tore something down and they left the drudges of Caldwell's culture here. I mean, we got rid of some of our best players, and now we're in a. I'm not gonna say we're in rebuild. I'm not gonna say we're in retool. We're in a re-year, and by the time next year ends, we'll find out what it is. I don't mind the hire. In fact, the hires looking forward, like after all the other hires made in this process, I'm liking them. Aaron Glenn as the DC coordinator. Bringing in Flynn as Anthony Lynn from the Chargers as our offensive coordinator. Like these, I like these moves because one, they're black hires. That's automatically going to get my vote. Right. Anthony Lynn had a good team, and Anthony Lynn as a head coach had a great team in the Chargers. The Chargers were doing very well prior to them not making the playoff. I mean, they just didn't make it because of Herbert. Herbert didn't play the first couple games, and
then everything that happened with Tyrod. I mean, like, and that's
and they got some bad breaks. They got some bad COVID breaks. They got some bad health breaks.
Getting your lung punctured while getting a shot in the ribs and almost dying for your starting quarterback. It's gonna start your season off pretty bad. And then when you have a rookie QB who I kind of think you drafted too high. You needed a QB, but Herbert.
But honestly, I like Herbert more than I like Tua. I hate saying that because
I agree. Tua to me got drafted way too high. I mean, I honestly think that Tua. I mean, granted, you don't want to say anything bad about these young kids, but from what I saw in college, for all the injury history he has, I'm not giving him a high first round draft.
My thought process,
my future on that, with him immediately having to be a starter. I had the Lions drafted him at we had 3 back then. But had the Lions drafted him if they had like a middle pick, like say for instance, they had the 9th pick when they selected the tight end. What is his name?
Hawkinson.
When they drafted Hawkinson at 9, which they shouldn't have. If you drafted a Tua type player right there, I'm not mad at that. But okay.
But I like the hire so far. But of course, I was watching a YouTube channel, which you will check out. This is free promo, but channel by the name of Dose Dion 2.0. He brought up an interesting idea about what's happening with Stafford, and that what if the rumor that was true of the new hire that wanted to be brought in had to keep Stafford on board was the reason. I don't think Saleh was ever going to come here. I thought he was a pipe dream. I thought that was a legit pipe dream. And him in New York, we'll see how that works. But as far as I'm concerned, the Fords are just as bad as the company running the Jets. The Jets have had talent way better than the Lions have had for years, and they bombed it out in a division where the only issue you have to deal with is an old coach and an old GOAT. That's the only issue you've had for years, and you have not won the division except for twice. And the guy that won your division is now working for ESPN a good hour and a half down the street.
If you look at the Jets division, what they have to do to become successful, to what the Lions are going to have to do to become successful, if you're just trying to get to the playoffs and get some momentum going to start building a culture, which I hate when NFL quarterbacks, coaches say we're building a culture. I mean, like, you don't build a culture, you just start winning, and that builds the culture. But if you want to start doing that, it's easier, in my opinion, to do that now with the Jets, even though it's going to be hard to do that, than with the Lions. Because you got to look at it. You still have Aaron Rodgers, who just just today lost another NFC championship
what
game.
he just said after this press conference, we don't know.
This is true, but you still have Green Bay being the class of the NFC North. You have Chicago, which all they need is a quarterback. That is all they pretty much need. If you give them even a marginal quarterback, they can make it into the playoffs. Then you have Minnesota. They just need a better quarterback. They have a top 5 receiver and a top 10 running back, and they have a top 10 defense. So all they need is a competent quarterback.
So here's something
you're not paying
that
$4 million over 3 years to in Kirk Cousins.
Here's something that I've noticed, and I can kind of tell when people are when referring to the Lions, that they know football or they don't know football. And I'm all about trends when it comes to football. If you look at the AFC, if you got the Lions in the AFC next year, the Lions are a playoff team. The AFC has been wide open. Think about this. The AFC for years has been wide open. Sure, there are a lot of good teams in the AFC,
but there's no in the AFC South.
I'm just saying anywhere in the AFC. If you look at the AFC in general, as of right now, there are only, I will say honestly, only 3 surefire teams right now: the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. Sure, the Steelers.
I would say.
I'm saying in terms of that their teams are going to make the playoffs. Anyone in the South? Are we sure about that? Are we sure the Titans are going to be good next year? No. Houston? No. Indy? No. Jacksonville? God, no. The East? The Jets? No. Dolphins? No. Buffalo? Yes. New England? Who knows? The West? Anyone except for LA and Kansas City? No. So the North is really just Cleveland and Baltimore, and we don't know about Cleveland. If you look at the NFC, every team in the NFC, short of maybe Dallas, us, and Washington, are playoff contenders. Every last one of them. Last year,
Washington made it into the playoffs
with an under 500 record. Let's think about that, y'all. So if you think about all the teams, the West alone,
on their 4th QB,
the West alone has all 4 playoff teams. The West is the only division in football in the past 10 years that has sent every team to the Super Bowl at least once. Seattle's gone. San Francisco's gone. San Francisco went last year. The year before that, it was LA. And then Arizona's been at least twice. Who else has done that? No one else has done that.
Damn.
The only other division that's done that, the only other division that's close to doing that is the NFC South, because Tampa has gone, New Orleans has won one, Tampa has gone and won one, and it's going this year. New Orleans has won one, Carolina has lost, and Atlanta lost. Those 2 divisions are the only. So think about that. If 2 of your divisions in your conference have Super Bowl caliber teams, regardless of the year, your conference is going to be difficult. So when this whole 17 playoff thing began, shout out to Devin for having us on that draft thing, me and you on the draft thing. I said the Lions have a shot because it's 7 teams. You don't know what's going to happen. Especially in a COVID year, you know what's going to happen. And seeing how next year it's going to be a COVID year. We don't know what's going to happen. So this news about Stafford, I wanted this 2 years ago, but I'm glad it's happening now because the Lions can do something smart. From what was told today on NFL Countdown by Adam Schefter, the great Adam Schefter, U of M grad, of course.
Yes, sir.
The Lions are looking at 2 number 1s possibly for Stafford. $40 million contract.
I think you can get that. I think
I do too.
And the thing is, this is the one time. I'll say this is the first time in probably 6 years the Lions can make a great offseason move. They can actually, and I say the one they did before that was signing Calvin Johnson to that big contract. That was a smart move, even though we know what happened with Megatron after that. But that was a smart. You had to lock up the best receiver in football. Stafford. We all know what's going to happen. Sitting here in Detroit, and no, like I said, I'm not a current Lions fan, but I grew up with the Lions in my household. I'll say that. I've been a Patriots fan for the better part of 2 decades now because of Tom Brady. we know what's going to happen with this situation. The Lions are going to trade Matthew Stafford to another team. That team will instantly become a playoff team. Matthew Stafford will get national praise. He is going to be called a revelation. The Lions did so much wrong with him. And I honestly think a lot of people here in the Detroit area, especially in the local media, that just shitted on Stafford for years. He can't do this. He can't do that.
Are gonna turn it around. It pisses me off to no end.
Words.
It pisses me off to no end.
What's gonna. I mean, look at it with just Lions' other players that they've lost and have gone on to be great additions. Kyle Vanden Bosch was wasted on this team. He is a Super Bowl winning player now from the New England Patriots. They took him, plugged him right in. He became a instant hit. And Ndamukong Suh is in a Super Bowl now, and
his second
already
one. His second one.
Yeah.
It really depends.
He's added to every defense he's been on. He added to the Rams, and he's damn sure added to the Buccaneers.
It really depends on where he goes. So, if he goes to Denver, no. If he goes to New England, no.
You know what? I don't actually even have enough faith that Denver would be smart enough to do that, because John Elway, as an executive, John Elway is the Michael Jordan of NFL executives. He was an amazing all-time player, and
but as on the business side,
on this side of the ball, he is a horrible executive. The only thing he has done in his entire tenure there in Denver was sign Peyton Manning as a free agent 7 years ago.
Okay,
that was the only thing he's done since. He has not gotten any big name free agents. He has wasted multiple quarterback drafts. He is not a person that can accurately identify talent in the quarterback position, the position he played very well. He does not know what the hell a starting NFL quarterback is. He cannot draft.
So here's my thought.
If I'm Stafford, I honestly wouldn't want to go to Denver. No. Because for one, you got an aging defense on the Broncos that is not.
And Von Miller's going to be probably gone after this year.
Exactly.
And I personally don't want
Von on my team. What else do you have?
Stuff like he said off the field.
You have Cortland Sutton and you have Melvin Gordon. You find those two, even one of them alone, will be the best running back he's ever had in his career. But still, you do not have a good offensive line. The receiving core is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Philip Lindsay as a running back and Cortland Sutton as your wide receiver, but it's still not a great team.
Also, you're forgetting
they need a quarterback, but they also need more than a quarterback.
Also, you're forgetting one looming thing. They got to play that bad man at Kansas City twice a year. And exactly. I don't think Stafford wants to go from playing one bad dude to another. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Playing Aaron Rodgers twice a year to Patrick Mahomes is literally like taking a kick in the nuts and then substituting a punch in the face.
So, okay.
Can't do it.
Let's just I would say the team that's probably going to end up doing it is probably going to be Indianapolis.
That to me will be the best place because Frank Wright is a damn great coach.
But the question,
he's a good and a good quarterback coach at that.
Yeah,
he's a good quarterback coach.
Which that's probably going to end up screwing up Carson Wentz because I think Carson Wentz wants out of Philly. But
you know what? Real quick on that, I don't think that many people want Carson Wentz. I know Carson thinks that he can go anywhere and just.
I'm sorry.
From
I hate saying this. I want Jalen Hurts more. Jalen Hurts is better.
Everything we've seen in your career, you have been injured every single season, so you cannot play a full 16 games. Of the sample size that we have seen of your career so far, you are drastically overpaid and very overrated. You are okay. You could go to Denver. If he goes to Denver, it would be the best quarterback they've had since Peyton Manning.
It won't do it because of that money. That money is too much for them. But okay, so let's just say hypothetically, the Lions trade this team, they trade Stafford to whoever, and they get 2 number ones. So that means the team has to have someone else's number one. Because I don't want a next year thing. I want a now thing.
Yeah.
You're either giving me your if I do get after year number one, I want something big. So and I want to get a team that I know is gonna suck. So
Stafford is worth a top 10 pick.
So what I would do,
and I'm not saying this to drink Kool-Aid. Matthew Stafford, even in year 12, his production level is worthy of a franchise that cannot waste time to develop a quarterback, a young quarterback. If you have a top 10 pick, Matthew Stafford is worth that because he instantly is an upgrade to at least 12 teams in the league. There are 12 teams in the league right now. You put him on as quarterback, it is an instant upgrade.
So I'm gonna look at the draft order so I can see who's in the top 10. So Jacksonville, that's not happening. New York, no. Miami has a third pick, even though it's from Houston. That's not happening. No. Miami's not giving that pick up, and that quarterback room would be a controversy all day. Atlanta is dicey because Atlanta still has Matt Ryan. Cincinnati.
If I'm Stafford, I wouldn't, because their defense has proven they can't hold a lead. They literally lost the same game again to Tom Brady this current season. You gave and then they gave up 2 more. They have at least three games this season of giving up leads of at least 2 touchdowns or more. Their defense can't hold the leads. And the thing is, Stafford knows all too well what it is to walk off the field with a scoreboard where you're winning and your defense give it up. I don't think he's going to try to go to a team that is notorious for doing that again.
You know who ends up doing it? The Jets. I'm looking at the Jets right now. The Jets have the second pick and 23rd pick. There's your 2 number ones right there. Now, let's say I'm just going to hypothetically, if it's the Jets and he gets sent there, I think he can work in the Jets. I think Salah would be perfect for him. But here's what I think happens: if the Lions get him, the first thing I am doing as the GM, I'm calling Kenny Golladay and I'm signing him to a contract ASAP. If I can't get him signed, then I sign Marvin Jones to less, and I bring back Marvin Jones. And then now that I have 3 picks,
you know what? I don't sign Kenny Golladay.
You don't?
I don't, because the thing is, it gets almost into a Calvin situation. And granted, I'm not comparing Kenny Golladay to Calvin Johnson. Kenny Golladay is a really good receiver, almost great. Calvin Johnson is a top 5 all-time receiver.
Yeah.
I am not going to pair somebody that is a ball-hungry receiver, because if you pay him the money he wants to get paid, he's going to want that ball and need that ball. I can't trust a rookie quarterback to give that to him that soon. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to be a security blanket. That's going to be like a hindrance. Like, I can see a rookie quarterback forcing the ball to him because that's my receiver. That's my number one. I got to give Kenny the ball. Mm-hmm. And then that leads into bad plays. So, and the thing is, what this team needs, I'm fine with doing I'm fine with doing a scorched earth rebuild. You either trade off the highest assets you have right now or don't sign them and just completely rebuild from scratch, get younger talent in here and develop them together.
So here's where I think this goes, because I've been watching the Lions move, and they picked up a linebacker that was from Alabama that played about a year or 2 last year, and he off the waiver market, and he's I don't know how he got let go, but that's not a hit there. What I would do if it was the Jets, hypothetically, and we do get those 2 picks, the first pick, I'm taking Devontae Smith off the board. I'm removing him completely. And then
with your third pick?
Huh?
With the third pick?
The second pick.
Second pick.
And with our pick, that's we're gonna keep from number 7 because I think we're just giving Stafford for picks. That 7th pick, I go get Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons is gonna fall in this draft. And as a matter of fact, if
who's above us? Us now. Who's above the Lions at 7?
Above the Lions at 7, the order goes as follows. Jacksonville at 1, the Jets at 2, Miami at 3, Atlanta at 4, Cincinnati at 5, Philly at 6. Then it's us.
I could see him going to Cincy.
Cincy is not going to get him. Cincy is going to, I can tell you right now, Cincy is going to get that offensive lineman because of what happened with Joe Burrow. They can't afford.
Okay.
They can't afford another situation like before. So if it's me, if it's me, and I'm taking the New York Jets, both the number one picks. That last pick of the first round I get from New York, that'd be my quarterback. And I'm sorry, I hate saying this. I don't want Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is gone. Trevor Lawrence is gone. There's no way anyone's getting him unless you give unless you
There's
you give a
no
king's
way
ransom
Jacksonville doesn't draft.
Yeah, unless Jacksonville gets a king's ransom for Deshaun Watson, it's not gonna happen.
And with that situation, I don't see. Only team I could possibly see going for Deshaun Watson, maybe he's making too much money.
He wants either the Jets or Miami, but Miami's not going to take it. And I think the team he should go to is San Francisco. Him in San Francisco, oh my God, would be terrifying.
I don't think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, I don't think they'd want to pay him that much because they're already paying Jimmy G.
Well, here's the question. If they do an up and up, and Deshaun removes his no trade clause, it would lower the money. So you could do it that way. And you could also split his money over years.
Deshaun to me, for all the stuff he's doing in the media right now, like just being angry, bro,
also he hasn't said anything. He has not asked for a trade yet, so that's the bigger thing. I think he's waiting to see how everything shakes out in free agency before he does anything else. But quarterback wise, I'm not drafting. Trevor Lawrence is gone. Justin Fields, I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole. I do not trust Ohio State quarterbacks when they go to the draft. Give me one Ohio State quarterback that's actually worked out well on the pro level. I'll wait. Zach Wilson, I like him, but no. Trey Lance would be interesting, but no. If it's me and I want to draft somebody,
Terrell Pryor is a receiver now, so that says how much.
Right. If it's me and I want to get a quarterback that I know can build here, I get Ian Book from Notre Dame. Ian Book is Allen in Buffalo, just a little smaller.
I can see that comparison. I can see that comparison.
And if you're going to be a team that if you're going to be if like Coach Campbell said, which is even weird to say out loud, if he said that the team's going to be a very much a run team, Book fits that description as well. If you did not watch Notre Dame's football this year, he fits that. Book has the ability. He has an arm. He's an arm talent. Don't get me wrong, but when he gets out the pocket, he can move. So
he kind of reminds me of like you said, he is very comparable to Allen in Buffalo. He does kind of have a little Roethlisberger to me. Like he's not as stocky.
I'm perfectly fine with that,
but. It's almost, and that's almost kind of like Ben Roethlisberger or Donovan McNabb, almost, to where no, running is not the first part of their game, but they can. Even Stafford to a certain extent, like they're not known for being a scrambler, but if if it starts collapsing on them, they can get out of it.
And if we're being 1,000% honest with the way, the Lions only have 5 picks this year. If you tell me they're trading Stafford and they get 2 extras and we're having 7 overall, that's fine. But what I think the Lions need to focus on this year more than anything else is getting rid of the dead cap that they have for players that don't need to be here. There are a bevy of players that aren't going to be here next year, and I'm fine with them. There are some players I want to keep. Don't get me wrong. Trufant got to go. But there are some players on that D-line I need to keep. I'm re-signing Romeo Okora because he's a damn good player. And there are players that have not played this year because Patricia was a dumbass that are great on the defensive line, but he refused to use them. So I think the Lions have talent that is stocked away. But I think the main focus for this team in the draft should be, number one, getting someone at quarterback, getting an outside weapon if you lose Galladay, Galladay, Jordan Jones, or both of them, and then defense. If you tell me by the end of day one, the Lions have a quarterback, a receiver, and a defensive stalwart to hold on to, I'm fine. They've won as far as I'm concerned.
I agree, but I switched that order. I think quarterback first. You have been the worst defensive team for the last 4 years.
Here's the question I have for you then.
Outside linebacker. You need somebody there are no quarterbacks in the NFL that fear the Detroit Lions defense. You need to have somebody to instill fear. Back when Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley were here, people were, well, granted, Ndamukong brought fear for a whole other thing, but you were afraid. You were afraid to see that Detroit Lions front foot.
But so here's the question:
you were getting touched.
So that means so you rather draft the quarterback first. Who of that bunch would you rather get? Because I'm sorry, looking at that bunch of quarterbacks, I don't put anyone other than Lawrence above Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons will be if he's my top guy right now. Other than Devontae Smith,
he's gonna be the one. I think he's the one because nobody else outside of Jacksonville right now they need a quarterback that much. I mean, Miami obviously doesn't need one. Cincinnati obviously doesn't need one. Philadelphia obviously doesn't need one.
You know what's going to end up happening? Philly's going to end up drafting a quarterback. How much you want to bet they would? Dude, think about last year. We all thought they weren't going to draft a quarterback. Hell, we thought Green Bay was going to draft a quarterback. And what happened?
Green Bay, I saw that. I knew they had to because Aaron was getting too old. I knew they had to start playing for the season.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It gets interesting because this is the most interesting time going into the offseason that we've had because there are tons of teams that need quarterbacks. New Orleans needs a quarterback. New England needs a quarterback. Carolina.
I don't know what their draft position is. Dallas, to me, they need to be buyers. Like
Dallas is 10.
I said it before. That the second that Dak Prescott went down, you should have been calling Jerry Jones to trade Matthew Stafford there. He would have been there quick, fast, and hurry. He's from Highland, Texas. He's from right down the street. He is one of the greatest high school quarterbacks in Texas history.
So
he would love to go back home to Texas.
Okay, so here's the question:
would you Dallas Cowboys works?
Would you do an up and just trade Stafford for the number 10?
I'm gonna want more than that. I'm gonna want their. If that's the case, I know Jerry's not that stupid enough to trade next year's first round pick also, but I'm gonna need something else. I want you to understand something. If the Lions were to get any draft pick from Dallas, so much as even a sniff of one, it's going to be national media news. Let's just understand that right now. And they're going to say the Lions are the losers in any trade, no matter what happens. If I'm Detroit and I'm looking at Dallas, which I have a friend who would hate this if it happened, I need Dallas's first 3 picks. Run them right now. If I'm not getting a number 1 next year, I need your number 10. I need the 10th, the 44th, and the 75th pick. I need day 1, 2, and 3. Hand me all them picks right now. I could see if you're gonna do that. I could see you get the first and the third. I see you get the first, the second, and you swap the third.
I wouldn't swap. I wouldn't swap. Well, I
don't know if they're going to be buyers that much. They need to be buyers, but I don't think because that's the thing. I don't see Deshaun Watson going to the Dallas Cowboys. He'll be making close to the money that Jerry didn't want to pay.
If the Lions were to swap with Dallas currently has we have a better pick than Dallas does. Dallas has the 75th pick. We have the 72nd. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we have the 72nd pick. That's the 75th. So the Dallas has the 75th. We have 72nd. So if I'm Detroit, I would take all 3 of those picks from Dallas to get Stafford. If you're not going to give me your number 1 for next year or your number 2 next year, I need those 3 picks. And with those 3, you still get what you want. You can go out and get Micah Parsons at number 7, and then we know Waddle and Devontae Smith are gone. If you want to get a weapon, Jamar Chase is there. We know for a fact he's healthy because he hasn't played all year. If we ended off day one saying we got Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase, 2 players that sat out last year, we know are fully healthy, have been sitting at home, and have been in shape, I'll take that. That is an automatic injection right into the team to build off of. And
I can see. I honestly, I think he goes to an AFC team. Now that I'm really thinking about it, staying in the NFC is going to be incredibly harder to win. You have Tom Brady, who's going to be back.
Well, is it though? Because think about it. The NFC South is going to be Tampa as of right now. Atlanta is a top draft team. Carolina doesn't have a quarterback, and New Orleans has a team, but they don't have a quarterback. I don't want to hear about Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. I don't care about those two. The NFC East. What is Dak Prescott's situation? Do we really trust the kid in New York? What's going to happen in Philly? Washington isn't even a team. The North.
No.
Chicago does not have a quarterback. Minnesota needs.
They don't even have a high draft pick, do they? I don't even think Chicago has a great high. Chicago, do they? Because they traded. Are they still giving a pick to the?
Chicago is number 20. Nope. Chicago has their pick. They're number 20.
Okay.
Washington has their pick. They're number 19. But Chicago doesn't have a quarterback, so they got to draft one. They're going to draft Stupely. They're probably going to draft Kyle Trask from Florida, which I don't understand what the hype about him is. They're going to or Mac Jones, who played at Alabama but is going to suck.
I see him going to Chicago.
So you see, so you have Minnesota that is probably my team I worry about more than any other team in this division. Green Bay, what's going to happen with there? What happens there? Is Matt LaFleur gone? Is Aaron Rodgers gone? What's the situation with Jordan Love? Because he has to get reps eventually. What's going on there? And then us, who knows? The NFC West, they're locked. That's three out of 4 teams that we know have solid quarterbacks. But again, Seattle's pretty taken care of. So is Arizona. Is Jared Goff the solution in LA after so long? Not really. San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo. What's going on there? So again, I'm not trying to be the homer, be super enthusiastic about the Lions, but we can't sit here and act like every team in the NFC is straight. Every team across the league has issues they're going to have to solve in this draft. There's a lot of money, despite there being a COVID year, a lot of money will be flowing this offseason.
I agree. So to wrap it up, who are your top 2 picks that you think Stafford can realistically go to?
I'm going to say if Stafford's intentions, which are my intentions, which is I need to win, I would say it needs to be Indianapolis and then San Francisco. There's no other team I'm looking at. There's no other team I'm looking at where I'm like, yeah, I can see him winning there. Because you're not going to go to New Orleans and have to deal with Brady twice a year. You're not going to go to New England or Atlanta. You're not going to go to New England where they have no weapons and they don't draft weapons in the first 2 days. They think that they can pull Brady out of their ass every year and it never fucking works.
This year proved not every quarterback can play in that system.
Right. You're not going to go to the AFC West where Mahomes is at, and you're not going to go to the South where King Henry is. So I'm only in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is the only Indianapolis and San Francisco are the only 2 teams that I can see as pivotal destinations for them. In all honesty,
I don't think San Francisco has the high draft capital they'd be looking for because they have. Well, San Francisco, what's their pick?
San Francisco has the number 12. And they have, let me pull up their picks. They have a 1, a 2, a 4, a 5, a 7, a 6, and 2 7s.
I would say Indy and Dallas for me. I think Dallas needs to be a big buyer for Matthew Stafford. He's a quarterback that they would love in Dallas, obviously, and him having Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, that means you're taking pressure off of him, which means he has more time to go through his reps. He has more time to find his second and third options if he needs to, because he has a great running back, which he can play with play action off of. That will be the first time he ever had that effectively in his career. That opens up an entirely different passing game from a guy that has an amazing arm. If you're Dallas, you want to get that. And plus, Dallas does have, the Dak Prescott injury notwithstanding, a great offensive line, which he has not historically had. I mean, Dallas is an upgrade at a lot of different things. A lot of the things that were his detriment in Detroit outside of the defense, he gets an upgrade with at Dallas. You have a top 5 running back. You got a top 5 offensive line. You have a top 5 receiver.
I want to say 2 things before we sign off. In regards to Dallas, my only issue with Dallas is you're coming off the Dak injury, and that locker room rallied behind Dak after that injury. To go in, not give Dak his money after everyone before the season said Dak deserved his money, to not pay Dak, let Dak walk, and bring in a white quarterback right after that, and just regardless of how good Stafford is going to rub that wide receiver core room and that running back core room the wrong way. Number two, and most importantly, it really did. I'm saying this now because I can see the tea leaves. Don't be surprised if the Lions trade away, when the Lions trade away Stafford, and they get rid of some of this dead money that they have, and they have a lot of money available, and they don't get Galladay, but they're able to get Marvin Jones or something like that. Don't be surprised if Odell Beckham Jr. gets a call. I'm just saying it now. The Cleveland Browns got to the playoffs and beat their rivals badly without him.
They play their record without him since he's been there is better than their record with him.
Right.
So I can't see Odell wanting to come here, because if you had problems with Baker learning his way, which he still is, playing with a rookie QB with that diva receiver, I wouldn't even bring that headache. And I don't think even at his best, his production level.
Well, okay, if he doesn't end up here, and I'm going to tell you this now, if he don't end up here, or some crazy team that we don't think of, or stays in Cleveland, don't be surprised if Tampa Bay or Kansas City go talking to him.
Kansas City would be the best thing.
Kansas City with him would be.
I'd work $4 million a year to work with.
It would be. If Kansas City were to talk to him, that would be the one time Roger Goodell would leave his office in New York, fly to Kansas City, and open palm smack Patrick Mahomes in the face. You can't have everything.
That's a David Stern block on the CP3.
You can't have Hill, Kelsey, Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, McCole Hartman, and Sammy Watkins, and him. No.
That's
the Avengers. That's the actual Avengers.
That's an Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh my God, the parties between Kelsey and Odell. Oh my God, the women.
That's gonna be a street party. So we're gonna end it on this one. Jay Tesla, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at J Tesla on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, at sportsbyjtesla.wordpress.com. I just did a write-up. I'm going to do another write-up soon, probably about the upcoming draft and the moves that should not happen in the offseason for each team. JTesla.nerdvana.wordpress.com. We do different nerd stuff. We do different reactions. On Twitch, I just did a how to save the DCE, the DC movie universe. Spoiler alert, they don't really get saved. You can also find me on What Kind of Black Nerdcast is with this lovely gentleman as well. Black Girl Marvel, Issue Black Girl Asia, aka Lou, and Zero, aka Mark. We talk about different nerd stuff, get on each other's nerves, and just have a good old time.
Thanks a lot, Jason. I really appreciate you jumping on. Everybody, jump in the comments. Where do you think Matthew Stafford will go? What do you think will be one of the biggest offseason moves in the NFL this year? And as we're now got the Super Bowl set, Tampa Bay versus Kansas City in Tampa Bay, who do you think's going to win? Drop those in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to see when I'm coming out with new content. And you're going to be seeing a lot of new stuff coming up in the next coming weeks on the show. Going to have some more guests. Thank you for joining me. I am Chaos. You're responsible.